Hi, I'm E.D. Lewis, and welcome back to my channel for another E.D. Lewis Reviews, or another nocturnal review, as this is being pre-recorded at night. Not that you can see, so I don't know why I gesture like that, but anyway. So, welcome back. I hope everybody's staying cool out there, and I hope everybody is keeping safe. And let's talk about some horror. So, earlier this year, let's see, what was it? It was last month. Yeah, so that was earlier this year. I was talking about Dark Shadows and 55 years of Dark Shadows. In April, though I didn't talk really about this then, I don't even know if I mentioned it or not. Anyway, so in April, that marked the 50th anniversary of the end of the show. When the show had been canceled, they had their final episode, you know, all the loose ends of that last storyline was tied up and the show ended. Well, this also marks 50 years of another Dark Shadows event, and that is Night of Dark Shadows, and I am so sorry that the halo glares on it, so I had to put it at an angle, but there it is. Here, let's try it this way so you can see the other show a little bit better. Night of Dark Shadows is the second film. Let's see if I just take the cover out of the cover. Is this any better? Well, anyway. So I'm just going to hold the paper cover. Night of Dark Shadows came out about 4 months after the end of the series. So it came out on August 4 of 1971, and that's coming up, so we're just about the 50th anniversary of this, and it was a sequel to House of Dark Shadows, which I have reviewed. I reviewed it last year, and the novelization. I would have reviewed a novelization for this if there were one. It's a shame that they didn't have Marilyn Ross do one, and I'm sorry if I sound kind of funny. I've been having some allergy issues this week, so I sound a little funny, and that's, you know, that's why. I hate allergies. But anyway, so this does sort of pick up, it picked from the last film in some ways. We had the same Collinwood, which the movie takes place entirely on the estate, so it is filmed at Lyndhurst again in Tarrytown, New York. I think all the filming for this film was, unlike the previous film, where they filmed there, and they filmed in Connecticut, and I think possibly in Canada, a little bit. I think on St. Edward's Island, maybe? I could be wrong about that, so anyway. We have pretty much an entirely different cast of characters. There are mentions of previous characters like Elizabeth Collins Stoddard, who was played by Joan Bennett in the original series. But it is mentioned that she is dead, so she's no longer there, of course, but they do mention her. We meet Quentin Collins and his wife, Tracy, so they're newlyweds. Don't know how long they've been married, but not too awful long. And, of course, they're played by David Selby, which was his first motion picture. And also, Kate Jackson plays Tracy, and this was her, first film as well. It even says introducing Kate Jackson as Tracy. She had played, of course, a character on the show, Daphne Harridge, and that's the only character she played on the original series, both the parallel time version and the regular 1840 timeline character as well. I guess if you want to count the Ghost as a different character, different form of the character, really, so not really a different character, so. Laura Parker joins the cast this time as Angelique Collins. She's a witch and a ghost. And we also have returning Grayson Hall playing the surly housekeeper, as well as Nancy Barrett returns as a new character, along with John Carlin playing not newlyweds, but playing a couple. They're a gothic novelist couple, named Claire and Alex Jenkins, so, which I really liked the Jenkins characters. It's a shame we didn't see more of them, and they were quite involved in the plot, but they didn't do a whole lot, which is unfortunate. I really liked their characters, but anyway. So we have them, and we have a handyman named Gerard Stiles, played by James Storm, and again, that's the only character he ever played on the show, until the audios came out, which continued the series, and he played, Sheriff Haggerty in Kingdom of the Dead, and Dr. Robert... His last name escapes me, but he played a parapsychologist, Dr. Robert something. Anyway, that's pretty much... Oh, there's, there David returns also as Reverend Strack, and the rumor is that it was originally supposed to be Jerry Lacey playing Reverend Trask from the series, but, I don't know if that's true or not, that's just what I've heard. And we have, Diana Malay in her final film role, because she never appeared in any other films, and she just passed away, I think, earlier this year, as Laura Collins. Christopher Pennock, I always butcher his name, who also passed away earlier this year, returning as Gabriel Collins, and I'm trying to think if there... Oh, Clarice Blackburn does play a small role as Mrs. Castle in a flashback, and she played Mrs. Johnson, the housekeeper in the original series. So, let me talk about what the movie's about. So, this newlywed couple, they've inherited Collinwood. They come there with their friends. The Jenkinses come with the, arrive just before then. They end up staying in the caretaker's cottage. And from basically the moment they arrive, Quentin Collins starts seeing strange things. A woman hanging in the garden from a tree, like, by a noose. Not just, you know, hanging around like, hey. And he starts to see visions from the past, memories, that couldn't possibly be his. Or could they be? The surly, housekeeper, sorry, the word was escaping me, named, Carletta Drake, seems to know more than she lets on. And the mysterious Gerard Stiles is jealous of the arrival of Quentin Collins. But this is very much a story of kind of romance and lust being kept alive generation through generation. And of course there's the ghost. The ghost Angelique is haunting the place, and her past, you know, is kind of the backstory where it connects all these memories that Quentin's having. So, of course, Tracy, you know, she's suspicious of it. She wants to get out, she wants to leave, but, you know, Quentin won't leave. And so it just becomes this big struggle, especially when the Jenkinses start investigating, and they uncover quite a bit. So, I mean, I was really vague there, because I don't want to give anything, you know, really away. The plot for this was based on a plot line from the show in a way. They did twist it and change it a little bit. It's actually based off of the 1970 Parallel Time storyline from the show, where they went into a parallel universe, and there was an Angelique Collins there, and she's dead and stuff, and there's the housekeeper that's, you know, evil, which they were basically knocking off Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier, and that's very much what they are doing here too, except for it's even more supernatural in some ways, because there's the actual ghost, and this woman is from like 1830 or so. So it's well over 100 years that she's been dead, so. This film did not do as well as the previous one. I mean, the previous one, I think, did shock some audiences because of the gory and violent nature of it, which was very different from the show. This one is not as gory, but it is violent. It's a little more sexualized, too. Which is rather surprising. I didn't like this one as much as I liked the first one. It has grown on me quite a bit. And, I mean, I can appreciate it. They were planning on doing a director's cut. This was like 10 years ago I heard about this, and it still hasn't surfaced yet, where they found all the you know, all the remaining, well, the surviving excess material. Because when the film was getting ready to come out, Dan Curtis was forced by Warner Brothers, as it said. He's given 24 hours to cut like 32 minutes from the film, so it only runs 94 minutes, so it would have ran just over 2 hours. And according to what they say, it would have made the plot would have made more sense, and there is parts of it that don't make a whole lot of sense. So, I would very much like to see this director's cut. I think it would make the film much better. But anyway, like I said, he was given 24 hours. He wasn't very happy about this, so he cut out a bunch of stuff, and it just kind of wrecked the film. So, they did discover the material, but the problem is there's no sound. And that would be, you know, incredibly hard to recreate because some of the actors are, you know, no longer alive. You know, like Christopher Pennock, Diana Malay, Grayson Hall, John Carlin, Thayer David. I don't know if any of the scenes would include any of them or not. Well, yeah, I think there is a scene that would include at least Grayson Hall. I don't know what the scenes are exactly. I've read brief summaries somewhere. I can't find them though. It might be in the Return to Collinwood book, actually. That's actually where I heard of them actually planning on doing a director's cut, but you know that's never happened. But anyway, this film's coming out in coming out. This film is turning 50 this year in just a matter of days. It'll be next week. I'm thinking that's Wednesday, I think. So, so if you get the chance, go ahead and watch it. It's not a bad film. I just didn't enjoy it as much. There are some things that don't make as much sense, but I guess if you pay attention, they do, you know, they do make an element of sense, they do make sense somewhat, if that makes any sense to you. I just, from what I gather, the director's cut would, you know, clear up the foggy ends. Kind of like Batman vs. Superman. I think the director's cut of that film was much more coherent than the theatrical version, because there are some things in the theatrical version that do not make any sense at all, and then you watch the director's cut, or the ultimate cut, and it's like, or ultimate edition, whatever it's called, and it actually makes sense. So, anyway. It's worth checking out, and if you're a fan of Rebecca, you might just like it, so do check out Night of Dark Shadows. Oh yeah, by the way, it was directed by Dan Curtis and written by Sam Hall, who was, you know, Grayson Hall's husband, and he was also a writer on the show, so. And Dan Curtis was the original creator. Anyway, that's it for me, and I will see you all next time. I don't know if that'll be during the week or on the weekend again, but I have been putting out videos on Saturdays. That's my official regular day now. So, if you do see me earlier in the week, it'll probably be on Wednesday, so I'll see you then. Take care, stay safe, stay cool, and I'll see you next time.